The book of Exodus is the second book of the Hebrew Bible and is a foundational text for Judaism and Christianity. It tells the epic story of the Israelite people's liberation from slavery in Egypt under the leadership of Moses. The narrative can be broken down into several key sections. 1. The enslavement of Israel and the birth of Moses, Exodus 1-2. The book begins by establishing the context. The descendants of Jacob have multiplied greatly in Egypt, and a new Pharaoh, who does not remember Joseph, fears their numbers. He forces them into brutal slavery. To control their population, he decrees that all newborn Hebrew boys must be thrown into the Nile River. Moses is born to a Levite couple, and his mother hides him for 3 months before placing him in a papyrus basket coated with tar and pitch and setting it in the reeds of the Nile. The Pharaoh's daughter finds the baby, feels compassion for him, and adopts him. His sister, Miriam, arranges for his own mother to nurse him, and he is raised in the Egyptian court. 2. Moses' flight and the burning bush, Exodus 2:4. As an adult, Moses sees an Egyptian taskmaster beating a Hebrew slave. In a moment of rage, he kills the Egyptian and buries him in the sand. When his act is discovered, he flees to Midian to escape the Pharaoh's wrath. There he marries Zipporah, the daughter of a priest named Jethro, and becomes a shepherd. Years later, while tending his flock, he comes upon a burning bush that is not consumed by the flames. God speaks to him from the bush, revealing his name as Yahweh and commanding Moses to return to Egypt to lead the Israelites out of slavery and into the Promised Land. Moses is hesitant, but God reassures him and gives him the power to perform signs and wonders to convince the Israelites and the Pharaoh. The 10 Plagues of Egypt, Exodus 5-12. Moses and his brother Aaron return to Egypt and confront the Pharaoh, demanding, "Let my people go." The Pharaoh refuses and increases the workload on the Israelites. As a result, God sends a series of 10 devastating plagues upon Egypt. Water turned to blood, frogs, gnats, flies, death of livestock, boils, hail, locusts, darkness, death of the firstborn. Each plague is a confrontation between the God of Israel and the gods of Egypt, demonstrating Yahweh's ultimate power. The final plague, the death of the firstborn, is preceded by the institution of the Passover. The Israelites are instructed to sacrifice a lamb and smear its blood on their doorposts. The angel of death passes over the homes marked by the blood, sparing the firstborn of the Israelites. This final act of divine judgment convinces the Pharaoh to finally release the Israelites. The Exodus and the crossing of the Red Sea, Exodus 13:2-15. The Israelites, now a massive multitude, begin their journey out of Egypt. God leads them by day as a pillar of cloud and by night as a pillar of fire. The Pharaoh, however, regrets his decision and sends his army to pursue them. The Israelites find themselves trapped between the pursuing Egyptian army and the Red Sea. God instructs Moses to stretch out his hand over the sea, and a strong east wind parts the waters, allowing the Israelites to cross on dry ground. When the Egyptian army attempts to follow, the waters return and drown them, completing the miraculous deliverance. The wilderness journey and the covenant at Sinai, Exodus 16-40. The Israelites journey through the Sinai wilderness. This period is marked by their complaining and lack of faith. God provides for them with manna and quail from heaven and water from a rock. They eventually arrive at Mount Sinai, where God enters into a covenant with the people of Israel. Moses ascends the mountain, and God gives him the 10 Commandments inscribed on 2 stone tablets. He also gives Moses detailed instructions for building the tabernacle, a portable sanctuary where God's presence would dwell among them. While Moses is on the mountain, the people become impatient and convince Aaron to build a golden calf to worship. God, angered by their idolatry, threatens to destroy the people, but Moses intercedes on their behalf. In his anger, Moses smashes the original tablets. He then returns to the mountain to receive a new set of tablets and reestablishes the covenant. The book concludes with the construction of the tabernacle and the descent of the glory of God to fill it, signifying God's promise to dwell among his people.